Good morning, guys. Saturday the 25th of April 2020. First of all, I'd like to say I hope everybody's staying safe, keeping themselves out of harm's way and being practical. It certainly does appear that people are being a lot better with this now. However, there are still one or two individuals who just completely oblivious and ignoring it. I've seen it with my own eyes, guys. Right, okay, so first bit of news, we've had a disaster. As you know, I watered the plants in last weekend, and I don't normally come to the allotment through the week. I just come up the weekends. However, because the weather has been so dry and so hot, I thought on Wednesday I'd better, just in case, have a pop up to the allotment after work. Thought I'll just pop up for half hour just to have a check on them, make sure everything's alright. And of course it wasn't. So there was one tray of strawberries, 6 plants. They basically were almost dead. And one full tray of carrots were dead. They basically just give up the ghost, and they were in a right old state, guys. I'll give you a look at those later. So what I had to do in an emergency situation was to peel off all the burned and dried leaves off the strawberries and get them into bigger pots with more compost. Although I'd watered them and they felt quite heavy, and I thought that watering will do them, they'd pretty much filled up their little cells, and they were just a root ball basically. So although they were heavy at the time, it wouldn't take long for that water to drain out. There was pretty much no compost left in there for them to soak any moisture up. So they're all being potted on now, and I might lose 2 of those. The other 4 are showing signs of making a recovery, which is good news. I also potted on the first original set of strawberries that I got, which were just the bare root ones from Wilco's. I've potted those into a smaller pot with a better compost. That compost I've been growing in hasn't been up to much, to be honest with you. So I've put them in a better quality grow more compost now. I put them in a smaller pot, give them a good soak, and left them soaking in a tray for a couple of days with water in the bottom. And I've just taken them off now to drain out, and we'll see if we're getting life spark out of those. If they do start to germinate, then basically we will pot them onto larger pots, and hopefully they will survive. The other 6 strawberry plants that I bought, same size cells, everything, different breed, they have survived, and of course they went straight into a tray with water in the bottom of the tray, and I left them soaking for a couple of days in that tray, and I've came up today and they're actually fine. They're a little bit waterlogged now, so I've taken them out for to dry off a little tad. So all in all, the butternut squash are not looking too clever either. And after putting that window back in last weekend, it turns out that the heat inside that polytunnel was just too much for the plants. And on some of the strawberry plants and the pepper plants, it's actually scorched and burned the leaves, and they've just gone crispy. You can just break them off. So I've had to take the window back out at the bottom again, and I've took the top one out as well. I'm going to let an airflow through because of this hot weather we're having, which is not normal for April. We do get an odd fine day in April, but I've never known an April like this, ever. I'm also running very, very, very short on water in the IBC. So I am praying for a little bit of rain. Apparently we're going to get a little bit, either later tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, I think. I just need enough to top the barrels up. I don't want it to rain forever and forget to stop. I just don't want to top the barrels up, guys. So I'm hoping I will get that. But I'm up, just in case you don't know, I'm up in the northwest, high end of the country, which is usually cooler up here than most places. And I'm about 15 miles from the Lake District. That'll give you a geographical idea of where I'm actually located. It's a beautiful place, but yeah. So we need to get some rain, guys, and hopefully we're going to get a little bit either later this tomorrow afternoon or sometime tomorrow. I'm sitting here in the shed and I'm absolutely melting already. I haven't done anything other than feed the pigeons and the hens and watered them. checked on the plants, took those 2 little windows out at the bottom end of the polytunnel, and yeah, it's absolutely red hot. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today, if anything. However, I've noticed the grass does need cut again. But the heat is horrendous. It really is. Don't get me wrong, I love the summer weather, but this is ridiculous. It's stifling, and it's that type of heat where you can't find the motivation to get going, or you can't do anything too strenuous, or you just start to sweat. So I'm going to just see what I can get done. Positive notes, the cabbages that I transplanted into the bed are doing really well. The primroses are all but dead. The beds that they're in are just too shallow. I've given up fighting with those guys. I'm leaving them to their own devices. And if they make a recovery, they make a recovery. If they don't, they don't. But I'm not going to fight no more with them. They're all basically on their backsides and losing the will to live. I need to preserve what little water I've got left for the birds until we, obviously the polytunnel plants will still continue to get watered, but I'm using bottom watering in a tray with water in so that to soak up the moisture to try and save water basically, rather than spraying it all around the place. It does appear that I have actually been over watering those beds in the polytunnel as well. And the reason I say that is because those beds are quite deep, so they will be retaining a lot of moisture, and I've been watering at least every Saturday, and I think even that might be too much. And the reason I'm saying this is because the butternut squash are still going back, and they're starting to yellow. Now when I've done a quick Google on that, it tells me that most of the time the yellowing of the leaves is an overwatering. Or it can be underwatering, but I know it's not underwatering, so it's got to be the opposite, and it's got to be overwatering. And when I poke my finger down into the compost today, I give them another little drink on Wednesday, and they've actually deteriorated. So that tells me it's overwatering, guys. I'm going to back off on the watering on the beds now. The peppers, I've actually taken in the beds. The cucumbers, they're coming on, but they're not. And I think it's because I've been overwatering. I'm going to back off on the water now for a few days, guys, and leave them to, but monitor them closely to make sure they are okay. I've ordered myself a little 12 volt battery operated irrigation pump, complete with all the tubing and the little sprinklers and whatever, that you can put down right down at the root of the plant. And if this weather continues in the way it is, I might just switch it on for 40 seconds per plant midweek, just to give them that little drop of moisture that'll keep them going until I get up at weekends, guys. So I'm rubbling on and bubbling on here at the moment, but there's a lot happened. I've had some photographs sent to me from Teresa on the Isle of Wight. Her garden's looking really, really good. She's got that in good shape. Her peppers I'm really jealous of. She tells me she went and got them out of a supermarket, took the seeds out of the supermarket pepper, planted them in hope for the best, and wow, she's done better than I have. So I'm actually pinching her idea, and I've actually taken a load of seeds out of a supermarket pepper myself. These are the bell peppers, and I've actually planted, I think it's 6 or 8, but I'll show you that later, guys. So we'll see how they do. I'm going to give them a go. I've got nothing to lose. But yeah, I've got 1 tray of carrots left. So I'm going to try and get those in at some point today or tomorrow. I'm just waiting for a bit of a cool spot. It's ridiculous. I'm melting out there. So what we're going to get done today, I really don't know, guys, but just follow me along. Keep watching, and thanks for your comments. They really are appreciated, and this is the reason why I continue to do this. I'll catch you later, guys. Bye. Okay, guys, so I've just planted a few more seeds. So what we've got here is we've got some dwarf French beans in there. We've just put 10 in. I like these cells because the nice, small, deep, single plant to a cell, and they have a tray in the bottom so I can put a soak mat in there, and they have a propagator lid if I need it. And then we've got runner beans, 10 in there. And then we've got purple sprouting broccoli, another 10. And then we've put in some Brussels sprouts. another 10 of those. So that's another tray planted out, guys. That's 40 plants in there. We'll see what happens and how many comes out, but yeah. So I'll just give you a look at the butternut squash. They're not dire, but having said that, they're not brilliant either. They're a bit droopy, but I think a lot of the drooping is with the heat in this polytunnel, although it is a bit cooler now since I took those panes back out. What I've also done is to try and shade the plant. I've put a piece of cardboard around the back there because the sun's at its hottest when it gets over this side of the polytunnel here where the pigeon loft is. So what I've done is I've put a bit of shade there. It's relatively cool at the moment in the morning, however it's still too warm. So there we have the carrots that survived, and there's the strawberries which are going to need potting on today, guys, as well. Hopefully these today or tomorrow. But here's the other batch of carrots, as you can see. I did give them a good deep soak, and 2 or 3 of them are lifting back up, so I'm going to just wait and see how that pans out. I might lose them altogether, guys. Then in here we've planted some more cauliflower because yeah, some more all year round cauliflower in these bigger cells, and there's I'm not sure, but I don't know if I put 1 or 2 in a cell. I can't remember now. And then in here we've got a little mini greenhouse. It's from a plug. It's one of the plug plant greenhouses that I bought some planting a lot of years ago. I had a few of these down home, so I've basically brought them up. And in here, what I've done is I've put some bell pepper seeds in there, as per Teresa's idea, straight out of the pepper. So we've put 6 in there just to see how they go. Just in case I'm unfortunate enough that I'll lose these other peppers. The other ones are only miniature peppers anyways, so we'll see what happens there, guys. I've also planted these cells out with them as well, so I've put a pepper seed in each one of these just to see the difference between the little propagator there and this bigger one with deeper cells, just to see if it makes a difference. 2 more of the cucumbers I've potted on into bigger pots now, guys, and they are definitely looking to be happier in there. But I'll just give you a quick close-up of this and you can see how scorched and burned those leaves are. I've sort of put them behind this board now to give them a bit of shade as well. I might even look at trying to get a bit of shade in down that side of the polytunnel, because when the sun gets over that side it's at its hottest point. So the lettuces are looking okay now, guys. Some of them can be transplanted into bigger pots now. Maybe even 1 or 2 straight into the bed between the tomatoes, the bigger ones. And then the little snow globe turnips, they made a great effort and they've got scorched as well. And as you can see, 1 cell have actually gone back and died on me. And that one there, only 2 or 3 have survived in that one, and some of them are scorched. But you can see the scorching on the leaves. The heat that's been in here has been horrendous. I need to get some shading of some sort to try and protect them. And these are the 3 cauliflowers, the only 3 that came up out of those. It must have been a bad batch of seed. I went and got a new packet of seeds for to sow the next lot of cauliflowers. And I have, I think I've planted some more cauliflowers. I'm sure I did. It might even be in here where I put the cauliflowers. Oh, it is. No, it isn't. I thought I planted some more cauliflowers. Perhaps I didn't. Oh well, never mind. That's another job to do. But yeah, the little plum tomatoes, they're doing okay now. They're coming on. The last 2 cucumbers in their original cells, I've took them out of the propagator now to get air through, air at them and let them dry off a little touch. Again, you can see, guys, badly scorched on the leaves. Still alive, but badly scorched. They should recover. 3 of the pepper plants that I bought when I bought these carrots and everything else, they're still doing well. They look like they want a bit of a drop of water now. And then I've got these cabbages that I planted at an earlier date, and there isn't very good germination on this either. And that's with that old crap compost, basically. I'm not sure if it's the seed or the compost that's been no good, to be honest with you guys. Anyways, that's sufficient. With the 8 I've got in there and those few there that's come up, they'll be potted on into the better compost now. They'll do me. The strawberries are potted on. You can see This one's made a remarkable recovery, and that one's also made a remarkable recovery. This one is still trying to recover, but it is still alive. But as you can see, guys, look at the burning on the leaves. These were burned to a crisp, basically. But again, they're all I've got different sized plant pots to see. I was testing to see whether I was going up a step too big, but these seem to be doing okay, guys. So yeah, the peppers in the beds, they're looking well. They seem to have got the roots down now and got established. Little cucumbers, again, they're a bit pale on the leaves, but I don't know whether it's the overwatering or whether it's scorching from the sun. This little pepper plant here it's taken and it's got well established, but as you can see, there is burn on the leaves on there, guys. Severely burned, and if you get hold of it, you can just break that off. It's crispy. That's the sheer heat in here. At the moment, I've got the door wide open. Got the door wide open while I'm in here myself. Tomato plants seem to be thriving and doing well. Certainly a bit of growth on these guys now. A little Shirley there, that was one of the first ones in. It's very, very healthy. It just doesn't seem to be growing tall, though. It just sort of stayed at that height. These ones here, definitely getting in size now. These were the second batch that we brought in from your father-in-law, and the big mama is now filling out and seems to be doing quite well. And again, the other butternut squash, guys, you probably can't see as well on this video, but the leaves are drooping, and that's either as a result of overwatering or a combination of that and the scorching of the heat in here. Maybe they don't like being in greenhouses. If they continue to suffer, I might pull one out and put it outside in the bed and just see what happens. Again, a little cucumber. This one's doing particularly well. 3 leaves there now, and the 4th coming out the centre. Another one of the peppers in the bed, got itself established and rooted. The onions are coming along, guys, in the front side of the bed. I have lost 1 or 2, but that was to be expected. But most of them have survived. As you can see, and they're doing quite well. Excuse me. And then of course the little clumps of spring onions that are planted, still doing exceptionally well. And as you can see, they've still got plenty of moisture. That's because I planted them in a block in the cells, and you can still see that there's plenty of moisture in there. So them beds are definitely retaining the moisture. So I think I have been overwatering, guys, but we're going to lay off on that now in the beds, not the not these containers, but certainly in the beds. I think I need to concentrate on getting these out and transplanted before I lose these as well, guys. So there's quite a bit to do. So I'll go and get a cup of coffee now and decide what we're going to do, and then we'll just pot it on. Catch you later, guys. Bye. So just another quick one before I go for the coffee, guys. This is the spray that I bought out of Wilco's. It really is a cracking little bit of kit. Gives a lovely fine spray for when you're putting your seeds in one thing or another. So I've got the seeds out here now, which are going to get a spray down. But also in the trays, I've put in those capillary matting. I put a capillary matting in there, and I'm going to give that a good soak as well. And then obviously once the cells go back in there, that will provide some moisture for a while for the seeds. And I've got a few of those. There's actually 4 there, and I have another 5 inside the shed. And I bought quite a number of these little trays and the 40 cell growing cells. Yeah, we got there in the end. So I'm just going to soak these out now, give these good watering in, sit them in there and let them do the stuff. Okay guys, catch you later, bye. Okay guys, so another quick job. I still haven't got for the cup of coffee, just to show you what I've done here, guys. We've got those seeds all watered in now, and we've got them in the tray in there. Propagator lid on. That's not for the heat, It's more to keep the moisture so that the condensation will run back down into the tray and keep them going till next weekend. So I've put a bit more cardboard in the back of here now for a bit more shade. And I've also put a great big piece of cardboard in the back of there. I do keep lots of cardboard up here. It's a very, very handy piece of tool. It's a very handy tool, I should say, and basically it has so many purposes. Rather than it going to landfill or waste, then basically I can use it. I can use it for making compost. I can cover the beds with it and everything. But I didn't have any more big pieces like this, so I've put some of this green barrier netting as well. And I've basically just a couple of cable ties which weren't really long enough, so I've put some wire ties on there now, some garden wire ties. I've just tied it to the top of there, and then I've basically just chucked it down the back of that board there. So it's easy to remove, roll up onto this bar and keep it there or whatever if I want to, and just put it out of the way at some point. So that gives me options now. I can basically roll that back up again if I need to, if it gets cool and I want to get more light in. But yeah, basically up this side here I'm going to do this. It just provides that little bit of shade and hopefully will stop scorching these little seedlings down here, which is pretty much the laying area while they grow and come on, guys. So I'm just trying to protect, I'm trying to think of any ideas at all that will help to protect the plants from getting scorched any further. The other strawberry plants, like I say, there's 3 there is almost certainly going to make it, that we almost lost through the week. I thought it was only 2, but there's actually 3. And what I've done is I've taken the other ones and they've been transplanted into these pots here, guys. But they're here out in the shade. They do still get sun early morning here, as you can see. But then they're just on the step in front of this door here because they get plenty of shade for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to try and give you a close-up of these leaves if I can. So this one here has still got some really, really soft foliage, but these leaves here are crispy. I can literally just, yeah, there we go. Just bits breaking off them. I'm trying not to damage them because I want to hopefully let the plant keep photosynthesizing through what it has got there left. So these might survive, guys, they might not. This one's the worst. As you can see, it's burnt to a crisp. And the outer leaves are also burned, but there is still a little bit of greening on this stalk. And I think in the centre there is a new leaf trying to come through, so it might just survive that, guys. Might. Again, the one next to it, you can see how bad these were scorched. You can see in the centre of the actual leaf there, you can see in the centre of the leaf where it's still soft and playable, and the outer sides of that leaf are burnt to a frazzle. But this one has got some new, and again they're all scorched to a degree, but there is still some green foliage on there, so that should now photosynthesize and hopefully come back again, guys. And they're in these nice big deep pots here now, so with a bit of luck we'll salvage them. And that one there, it might never come back, but I think the other 2 might just make it, so we might only end up losing 1, or we might not lose any. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes, guys. By the way, for me new potting bench, I've been using this. This is basically the landing into the other shed, and it's actually quite good. I've just got a couple of bags of compost in the little truck here, and I was just putting the growing trays on there, fill them with compost, and of course I can make a mess, do whatever I like. I can just brush it straight onto the ground there, guys. So yeah, that's just another little look around. I'm definitely going for that cup of coffee now. I'm absolutely dehydrating and melting, so we'll catch you later. Bye. Okay, guys, so as you can see, I'm definitely losing the plot. I'd mentioned on the sorry about the light, guys, but I can't keep that door shut. It's absolutely stifling in here. I'll try and get the best angle I can. So yeah, as I had said on the last clip, I've just watched it back and I'm saying I'm sure I'd planted some more cauliflowers. That was part of the first thing I showed you. I put some new compost in the larger cells, I used the old cabbage tray, and I think I put 2 in a cell. I normally write on how many I've planted per cell on the back side of the labels, but I hadn't on this one. So yeah, I'm thinking, did I plant some? Am I going mad? Yeah, I probably am. It's the sun getting to me. So yeah, I did plant some more cauliflowers. So we've got quite a conglomeration of plants in there now. I'm sure we're going to have pretty much sufficient for what I want. I might put a few runs of more runs of radish in straight into the beds over in the growing area as quick catch crops. And I may, depending on how those little turnips do when I transplant and plant another 1 or 2 of those, but we'll see how it goes, guys. What I don't want is a great big massive glut of vegetables that I can't do, you know, I haven't got the growing area for. I can always give them away if anybody wants them, but it's how they get them basically. But I don't want to go overboard and sow packets and packets and packets of seeds, end up with a million plants that I can't do anything with. Nowhere for them to go. So yeah, as I say, I'm talking in riddles again today. The sun's definitely got to me. So I'm just having the cup of coffee now. Finally managed to get in and get it. I think what I'm going to have to do is concentrate on getting those other strawberries transplanted before I lose them. I want to get those potted on, while I decide whether I'm going to put them into hanging troughs or straight into a bed, or a couple into a bed, some into troughs, some into just big planters. I don't know yet. I'm going to wait and see how that goes. One thing I'm pretty certain of is they don't like really being in that greenhouse. Although now I've took the windows out with the airflow, they should be okay. But I don't think strawberries particularly like growing in greenhouses. I could be wrong. Anyways, guys, I'm going to finish this cup of coffee, and I'll come back to you when we get a little bit more done. See you later. Bye. Oh, so just another update on the, before I forget, the pigeons. So basically I gave 8 away to a guy who was just starting up. He ended up taking 8. And then the other 7 sold on the web, from the website. Now all that leaves now is those 12 Trigonino, the entire family of the little Italian flying breed. And the reason for that is the guy gave backward. But then I got shortly followed up with another text, someone else who was interested. And I said, look, if you're going to take a lot, mate, you can have them for 120 quid. £10 a piece. Just take the lot. I said, it'll cost you 50 quid for the courier. So 150 quid, you've got 170 quid, you've got a full family of birds ready to start breeding with. And he actually booked the courier and everything. And then one day before the courier was due to arrive to collect them, he messaged me to say an emergency cropped up and he could no longer afford the birds. So he ended up cancelling the courier, and that was the end of that. So I've still got those little Trigoninos. So I've put the photographs up on the website again now, and that's all I have on the website currently. I could possibly sort another 2 or 3 birds out over the next week, maybe even as many as 10, just to let them go. But to be honest, I don't need to if I don't want to, but I might do, just because I've now got people hounding me for birds. And if it makes more room, it makes more room for me. I'll see what I've got left once I start to put the birds together and start breeding. So we're just going to see how that goes, guys. Maybe next weekend we might make a start on putting the birds together. We'll just see how things go in the garden first, and make sure to get on top of everything with the plants and one thing and another. So yeah, just a quick update before I forget. Catch you later, guys. Bye. Okay, guys, so the job I was dreading doing, we've now got it done. And what I've done is I've now transplanted the carrots. And there's a lot more in that little seed tray than I thought there was. As you can see, we've got 2 full lines of carrots up in this bed with the cabbages. So we've got 2 full lines of carrots here, nice and well spaced, so if they do come on they should produce nice sized carrots. Got a good space in between them. It's a bit tedious, and there was a few surplus which I've had to put up near the primroses. As you can see, guys, they're struggling, but they're getting there. If they get the roots down deeper, they might be fine, but they're just not getting the roots down farther enough. So yeah, I would say there's 50 carrots there at least, maybe a few more. So earlier on today, which I didn't mention, I've been to Wilco's and I got some fleece just in case we didn't get any frost, but it's probably not going to happen now. But inside this fleece came some, it's a polytunnel, it's a little mini tunnel, grow tunnel with fleecing, but I've got some Enviromesh as well which I've purchased. So rather than putting the fleecing on, I'm actually going to put the Enviromesh over here, and you can see I've put one of the hoops inside. So we'll put 2 or 3 of them down the bed, and then we'll throw the Enviromesh over. That will protect the carrots and the cabbages. As you can see, guys, the cabbages are, I'm trying to get a better light. The cabbages are established. They've got the roots down and one thing and another, and they're starting to look okay. They haven't gone back, so that's a good thing. I just wanted to show you this as well. As you know, this is a no-dig bed. So before we put the compost on, we had some cardboard laid down on here, and then we put the compost on. And when I planted these carrots, I've had to actually dig down through the cardboard so that the roots can go down. But I just want to show you this, guys, just to show you, although this looks bone dry, you can see on this stick how much moisture there is in that bed. So you can see from the stick just how much moisture there is once you get down and below the cardboard. There's still a lot of moisture in this bed, so they're not going to need water for quite a while. So obviously the prims only being shallow rooted, they're going to take a hit, but hey ho, it is what it is. So I'm just going to crack on, guys, and get this get these hoops in, and then get the Enviromesh over the top of these once I've given these a little watering in. Although they don't need the water, when they're first transplanted they do. So they're going to have a little sprinkle of water, guys. Catch you later, boys. So the next job, guys, is I've threw a bit of compost on the top of these, over the top of the bed, and the main reason is to protect the top of the carrots from going green. So now they are under the soil, basically. The little top dressing of compost will provide some feed until I put some more of the slow release fertiliser in there. Now then, it's just to provide them carrots with a little bit of feed to get them started and get them going again after the shock transplant. So hopefully this is going to work, guys. But it's more importantly to cover the tops of the actual carrots to stop them from going green with sunlight. And that's the main reason I've done this. Obviously, as they start to get established, we'll put the slow release fertiliser back on there. As you know, the compost that's in these beds here, it's a very, very fibrous compost. It's a very cheap bulk compost. So we're going to need to build a structure on these as we go along, guys. But it should still be good enough for growing in, guys. So, yep, catch you later. As you can see, I've got the hoops in now, and I'm just about to cut the Enviromesh to size and put that over there now, guys. Catch you later. Bye. Okay, guys, so I have given the carrots a good watering in now, as you can see. Also, we'll give the prims a drink. We'll see whether they actually pull through or not. But yeah, so the hoops are in place, all planted out. It's a very tedious job. Most people don't like doing this, but although it's a long and tedious job, once it's done, it's a good job, as I say. I've also, while I had the hose pipe out, I decided I would try and keep the prims alive. So I've literally just watered the prims because I know the beds are still well saturated. But yeah, just to see if they can save them. And it's likewise in that bed over there. I've literally just done the prims. I haven't done round the gooseberries or anything, literally just the prims. And these beds down here, likewise, these are the really, really shallow beds. And as you can see, they're all about buggered. They're probably not going to make it, but they've had a drink. See what happens, guys. Right, so I'm going to get the Enviromesh on this bed now, and then leave that set, and that's just going to leave this to its own devices, guys, and we'll monitor it week by week and see what the progress is. Catch you later, guys. Bye. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we've just watered these prims in, nothing else, just the prims. Give them a bit of a drink, see if we can salvage them at all. But I'm not holding any breath out. Some of these are getting the roots down deeper now, obviously, because they've got some new foliage on. The cockerel's doing some pilot shouting this morning, this afternoon even. So yeah, I've now got the invited mesh on the bed, so that should be the carrots and cabbages protected from here on. We're just going to leave that on there, guys. I can see through to monitor them and see how they're doing, and we're just going to leave them to their own devices. Even the prim's got a bit of a drink as a result. So that's that sorted. As you can see, the taters are starting to come up again, now, and they're getting a bit bigger. These are the early ones. So they seem to be doing okay, guys. So I've also watered the little prims in these bottom beds. They're really shallow, these beds, and the prims just aren't getting the roots down properly. They've had another little bit of a watering just to see if we can save them, but like I say, I'm not really bothered. Some of the main crop ones, there was 4 potatoes put in here. I think you remember me saying we put the last 4 of the Sarpo Miras just in here. 2 of those have came up as well. Onions are still doing well, guys. Still only 4 garlic actually came up. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys, but yeah. We've got 1 there, 2, 3, and 1 here, 4. Not sure what's going on with them, and they don't seem to be growing too well either, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there, guys. Maybe we won't get any garlic this year. Ironically, they're in exactly the same bed as these onions, planted the same depth and everything, and look how well the onions are doing. Another little look at the trees. Loads and loads of foliage coming on these now. Yeah, hens all looking well, fine and healthy, still grazing the grass. Saving me a job on that one for now. Those 30 hens seem to be keeping that at bay for now. That's good. Yeah, not a lot else to show you guys other than, as I say, it's a great job getting them carrots in. It's a tedious job, but it's therapeutic as well. So yeah, at least we've got those done now. Looks like we've had something digging in here. Something's been digging around here, whether it's cats or what, I don't know. Cats, rats, don't know. Not really sure what's been going on here. Plenty of foliage on the plum tree now, guys. Really making a comeback, as you can see. And likewise with the other one that I transplanted into the chicken pen, it's also making a comeback. So yeah. I noticed on Wednesday evening when I came up and I had the disaster with the plants, I'm just looking at these black currants, and as you can see, guys, they're starting to go into flower already. So we'll have black currants on here before long. We'll need to get some netting over. Gooseberries are also doing well. No flower on those yet, but they're doing well. The other black currant also doing well. And as I say, with flower on these as well, so the black currants won't be long. And another gooseberry. Yeah, these do fruit, even though it's only small. They do fruit, but there's no sign of. Oh yes, just got flowers starting to come on there now. Look. Yeah, we're starting to get a few little gooseberries on there now. So yeah, just a quick update over here, guys. Not a great deal done, but as I say, planting those carrots is a really tedious job, but once it's done, I should reap the benefit at a later date, guys. There's a lot of carrots in there, and even though I lost a full tray, all but, then we've still got quite a number of carrots in there, guys. So we'll leave these to their own devices and we'll catch you in the shed. See you later, bye. Okay guys, so I'm back in the shed again now and I'm having a cup of coffee, and boy was I ready for it. So I've actually got a lot done, but it doesn't seem a lot. So I've got all the new seeds that I've planted in, stuff that I didn't have. Got some stuff transplanted, the bit of shading done in the greenhouse. But most of the day, ironically, has been taken up by transplanting those carrots. I thought I'll go and transplant those and then I'll do this. But the sheer time of separating all those carrots, because when they're in a ball, they're all tangled together and you've got to separate them out, just tease them out gently. So that's what I've done. A lot of people wouldn't have had the patience. They just planted them in clumps and pulled them as they grew and took the bigger ones, and you can do it that way. But I thought, well, okay, with what I've got left, I want to try and maximise the crop out of what I've got left. So I took the time to basically separate every single one and plant them individually, giving them plenty of space to grow. So I've given them the best possible chance. All I can do now is wait and see and hope I can reap the benefits of the time that was spent. Got the Enviromesh on the bed over there now. Got them watered in. Used a little water pump again as well, by the way, for to just water those in. Didn't need to use as much water because, as you've seen from the footage earlier, the stick, you could see how wet it is still under there in them beds. And obviously anything that puts its root down is going to reach that, and they're not going to need water. And it sort of taught me something as well, that although I was looking thinking those plants were going to be absolutely parched, anything that's going down with a deep root isn't going to have a problem because they'll find the water, and there's still plenty of water and moisture down there in spite of all the sun that we've had. So I know that the trees, the apple trees and the pear trees are getting water no problem. I know those onions that's in there will be getting down and finding the water they need. It's the primroses predominantly that's having the problem because they're only shallow rooted and they can't get down deep enough to reach that water. So the top 2 or 3 inches of that compost is drying out, and the primroses are taking a real hit on that. There's not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately, other than come and water them every day, and I just can't do that. So we'll just have to hope they can put 1 or 2 tap roots down and find water and keep themselves alive. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, guys. As I say, the black currants are starting to flower now, so there won't be long till we've got black currants on there. There is actually some little gooseberries on the gooseberry bushes. They're very, very minute, but they are starting now, so they're obviously finding the water and getting down deep enough as well. Plum trees are both making a fantastic comeback, as are the apple trees and the pear trees. So, yeah, the potatoes, the early crop, are coming along nice. So I'm just leaving them to their own devices. They don't need any more water. There's plenty of water in them beds. So we're going to leave that. We do still need a bit of rain though to fill my water bottles up. At least that's what I think. So I'm just having this cup of coffee because I'm absolutely dehydrated, and that sun is really, really, really warm. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do anything else today, guys, because it's 3:30 now. Yeah, doesn't time fly when you're having fun. It's not a fantastic video today, I'm afraid. If I do get anything else done, I will show you it. But I'm hungry now. I've had no breakfast again and I've had nothing to eat, so I'm thinking about calling it a day after this cup of coffee and getting myself away home. Tomorrow I'm definitely going to have to get those plants done and one thing and another, and then after that we'll get them transplanted, definitely tomorrow at some point. And then I'm getting a phone call while I'm trying to do this video, guys, and I can't see what I'm doing or anything. There we go. So I'm having to ignore the phone call. I'll ring them back in a minute. So we'll hopefully get those plants transplanted tomorrow. Maybe get the grass cut. Scrape the chicken roll-away nest boxes out again. And hopefully we'll get a bit more progress, or it'll look like I've got more done in a shorter space of time. And it might be a little bit cooler tomorrow as well. So yeah, So for now, guys, that's it. Stay safe, take care, keep yourself out of harm's way. If you've got any comments, put them in the sections below. As always, I'd like to hear from you. If I get a chance, I'll also put Teresa's photograph somewhere in this video, either at the end or in between. And you can have a look at how Teresa's garden's coming along. So thanks for that, Teresa. Thanks for sending the photos over. It's nice to see how other people are getting on. So take care, guys, and for now, we'll catch you in the next video. Take care, bye.